Well, good morning, everybody. And to get us started today, I just wanted to show you some updates I've put over there on agweather.com. That's ag-wx.com. When you get to the website, a lot of the maps are still the same over here on the right. I'm working on a redesign of this just to make it a bit more easy to navigate. But one of the new things I changed was the site location forecast right up here. So if you come over to the website and start typing, you can just type any location you want. Like, for example, I'll choose Raleigh this morning. When you click on it, it'll put a number inside the box. That number has to show up there. That's the index number for Raleigh. I use the actual rank of the city in terms of its size as the index. So it's the 47th largest city in the U.S. You click Submit. It'll take you to this new page where you can click right here to get your forecast for Raleigh. And this is the new design I came up with. It's got all your local weather information at the top, plus some stats, a quick look at the precipitation totals to date compared to average, and then a 7-day forecast with all of the different model data in there. So I put 4 different models, also include information on soil temps, humidity, winds, all that kind of stuff. Now down at the bottom, I just kind of rewrote everything else into JavaScript so it'd load a lot faster and you'd have access to it pretty quickly. So, you know, one of the things I'm really interested in North Carolina right now is the 7-day high and low temperatures. And what I'm concerned about here is that the low temperatures tomorrow morning, again on Thursday, could be down there around that 32-degree mark. But as you can see, over the next 10 days, the forecast temperatures from all the major models start a bit of a rebound here. You got your precipitation information, your year-to-date GDDs. You've also got year-to-date, like I said, temperature data, including some statistics. So I just wanted to make you all aware of these tools, all right? So let's come back to that discussion about temperature, because as you can see, we're worried about touching freezing in throughout North Carolina. And this morning's all hazards weather map shows us that we've got actually 26 states stretching from, the panhandles all the way into parts of New England this morning that had some sort of a frost or freeze alert advisory warning in place. And I was watching the low temperatures this morning. I don't think they quite got down to freezing all the way to the Gulf Coast, but it was quite cold in through here. What you see is that throughout the Mid-South, the South, through right here through the Mid-Atlantic, we do have these really cold temperatures in place, while red flag warnings, fire weather watches are starting to emerge in the plains, and we're going to see major changes in the Pacific Northwest in the next 2 days. So first of all, let's look at those low temperatures. This was this morning's forecast lows. And here's tomorrow morning on Thursday. So again, this is kind of our last day for really cold air in place here, because watch, by the time we get into Friday, it's kind of tucked into the Appalachian Mountains and then parts here of New England. And then after that, there's a major warm-up as the whole pattern starts to shift its way around. And that's going to be a pattern shift that includes a much, much deeper trough that's coming out of the Gulf of Alaska to really knock the warm temperatures out there. So we've set a lot of records in the Pacific Northwest as of late for October temperatures. But today's highs, by tomorrow and then into Friday, while those warm temperatures move into the central United States plains, the Mid-South, the Midwest, where we're going to go back up to like late summer-like warmth, while the colder air exits, and then much colder air comes into the western side of the United States. So here's how things look on Sunday. You can see we're going to have temperatures knocking on the door of 90 degrees in parts of Kansas and maybe in the upper 80s in parts of Nebraska, while much colder air comes into the western part of the United States. Now, with this overall change, we're going to see just a significant change in the jet stream pattern, and it's starting right here on Friday. Now, the big questions I have about this pattern are the timing of this larger wave here, what could be a tropical system coming up along the coast of Mexico, the cutoff low that's off of the California coast, and then all of these three pieces interacting with a cutoff low here that's off of the Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina coast, as it all interacts with the ridge north. Now, that's a lot of moving pieces. But why we're so concerned about this is the timing of these waves. So you see the main wave moves through Sunday into Monday. There's then a secondary push right here as the cutoff low gets pulled into the flow, comes out of the Arizona and Mexico into Texas Monday night into Tuesday. And what this could do is this give us a multi-day strong to severe storm threat in the midsection of the country, and we'll be talking about snow on the backside of this. So here we go. This is the upper level low that's kept things so cold here over the eastern half of the country, finally moving out Thursday into Friday. So it's out. Friday is one of those days where there might not be much precipitation at all, especially Thursday night into Friday morning throughout the entire United States. But that changes quickly. It's a big country, and here's the next system coming in by Friday night. Now, this is the beginning of this pattern change we've been discussing. Now, the European model has the lead wave coming out of here by Sunday night, out of the mountains, after which putting down some potentially heavy snow in the Cascades, the Northern Rockies, down to the Central Rockies. And then it has the wave ejecting here on Sunday night. Now, this is the current timing, meaning that Sunday evening, the risk of strong to severe storms could be along the front extending to the south. I am unsure. I do not yet know what the snow pattern is going to look like through parts of Montana, getting into the Dakotas, southern parts of Saskatchewan, into Manitoba. This is still, I mean, we're 126 hours out. A lot could move around with this. Now, if you noticed, while that system was there, we had another one, the low that was here, try to work its way up the east coast, and it's going to try to deliver some heavier rain in this area. The models have moved this low around quite a bit. At one point, it was moving out to open ocean. Another point, it was hitting the Carolinas. The latest trajectory is in through this area. It's all an interaction between it and the downstream and upstream pattern. So this is Monday morning, Monday midday, and Monday evening. Now, remember, at this point, there was another shortwave that was going to get pulled into the flow on Monday night into Tuesday and move its way into Texas. So while that comes in, the next system is trying to work its way into the northwest. Watch. So this will be what I'll watch on Tuesday, the risk of that second wave coming through and delivering maybe from eastern Texas through the mid-south Tennessee Valley, a risk of severe storms. Tuesday is also when the next system enters the Pacific Northwest. See it there? So while one spins through the eastern Canadian prairie and delivers severe weather to the south and mid-south, the next system's already coming into the Pacific Northwest, and it's just so far out there we don't yet have the details on what this one might do. But it looks as though it's going to try to follow the preceding system that came through there. All right, so at this point, we feel like we've got a better handle on the next 7 days rather than beyond that. So the WPC released this map this morning showing us where the best chances of getting precipitation are this week. What's important to note is that the WPC is not yet bringing the system that's just off the Carolina coast into New England yet. So that's a difference between the European model and the National Weather Service. But again, Sunday night here, then getting into the day on Monday, spreading farther into the upper Midwest, and then Tuesday down here in the mid-south back to the south. That's what I'm watching. Now, in terms of snow, this is the probability of getting at least 3 inches over the next 7 or 8 days. So we can see the models are honing in on a quadrant right in through here, outside of the mountains, of course, that could pick up some significant snowfall. All right, we'll have to watch that carefully. Then the other side of this is going to be the winds. So as we play out here, that's through Friday. Notice that the accumulated wind gusts are overall not too high across much of the United States. There's some places where they're strong, like here in the Western Plains, still wrapping around the upper level low. But a big section in the mid part of the country is going to be relatively calm. So when do the stronger winds arrive? Well, Friday into Saturday, and then you're going to watch on Sunday into Monday. See how strong the winds are expected to be in the plains as the first of these 3 synoptic lows moves across the midsection of the country. Could see synoptic scale wind gusts. That's outside of the thunderstorms in that 30 to 50 mile an hour range. So where are things by day 10? Well, this is something we're going to have to watch carefully. The models are attempting to produce another feature that comes through here at the very end of the month, and then another big wave coming out of the Gulf of Alaska. The models are not resolving the impact of these two things very well in the precipitation field, though. So I don't buy into this drier signal here to finish the month of October. All right, we're going to have to watch that carefully. On the temperature side of it, though, you're going to be able to see the pattern flip very clearly, as we've been watching all week. And now we've split the country west versus east, cold versus a flip-flop of this, which is what we've been in for most of October. And the models just kind of keep that pattern around to start the month of November. Now, just to be clear, there will be multiple fronts that come through here, so this will be a volatile temperature pattern. But this animation is a 5-day sliding window of temperature anomalies. That's why it looks like this. Lastly, I just want to bring up to speed on some things happening in South America. Models were drier in Goiás, they were drier in Mato Grosso do Sul and over towards Sao Paulo, but wetter in Mato Grosso in the northern growing area. So this is going to continue a faster plant in this area. While this might possibly just slow things down. We just need more moisture to get the crop really established. But the bigger news is the better rains that are forecast possibly next week into parts of Argentina. This is an area that's deep in drought. We're not expecting widespread rain here, but there's chance for some spring thunderstorms to roll through. Keep a close eye on that to see if the models kind of waver at all in the total precipitation amounts. And lastly, I've been kind of keeping you up to speed on the flooding situation in parts of Queensland, getting down into New South Wales and Victoria, and I just want to show you the latest updates here from the European model. We have two different systems rolling through, and we can see that going out there about a week, we're still looking at some places in parts of Queensland, but most of this major agriculture productive region between the Darling River and the Murray River, of pockets getting 4 to 6 inches of rain, and that extends down into the higher country here into Victoria. So this flooding problem we're having in Australia is going to be significant for how their winter crops are finishing and how the spring crops are getting established. So thanks for the extra time this morning. We'll talk again very soon. Thank you.